Good morning, Malaysia. This is Matthias Chang from Future Fast Forward. Today, I'm speaking to all of you on a very, very serious matter that will affect your lives, your family, your friends, our nation, and more importantly, the entire global financial system. Please have your handphone ready to take photographs of all the key documents which I intend to show to you. The news that's coming forward from my research will be devastating, beyond imagination. And some of you may very well say, I'm talking rubbish, I'm a conspiracy theory, or what have you. I can't be bothered as to your opinion about what I'm going to say. I'm doing this to discharge my duty as a friend to all of you, while my broadcast list, as well as to the people of Malaysia. For those who listen, I hope you will survive. For those who have listened to me on 3 previous crises, you know that my words, my forecast has been spot on. Way back in September 1987, before the huge crash on Dow Jones. The 1997 crisis, the Asian crisis that hit Malaysia and Southeast Asia. Those who have listened to me survived. And then the 2008 global financial tsunami. Now, before I go on, I want to show to you that you better take me seriously, because in 2007, I wrote this book that forecasted the collapse of the global tsunami in 2008. And I'll read to you what I said in the introduction very quickly, so that you will take me seriously. I'm not speaking with hindsight, but with foresight. It's like telling people you're on a train with no driver, it's going to crash. It's that serious. So bear with me, please. This is an unusual book. It's not meant to be. Following the publication of my 2 earlier books, Future Fast Forward and The Brainwash for War, Programmed to Kill in 2005 and early 2006 respectively, I had embarked on my research for the 3rd book as the final part of the Future Fast Forward trilogy. The entire title of my 3rd book was The Shadow Moneylenders and the 911 Money Machine. I wanted to expose the global shadow moneylenders and how they exploited the events of 911 that enabled them to control global banking and finance in a manner beyond their wildest dreams. However, events in December 2006 prevented me from embarking on the research, as it was apparent that the global banking system and the shadow money lenders' agenda was fast collapsing. Using my mobile phone, I sent SMS messages to my friends warning of the impending financial crisis, telling them to get out of the stock market. In turn, I was receiving messages and emails for advice as to how to survive the growing crisis. This is what I did in my introduction. Okay? So, when I say to you now, there'll be a crisis coming, please take me seriously. And in the appendix to my book, I enclosed certain letters which I wrote to various banks in 1996, warning there'll be a crisis in 1997. Alright? You bear with me. letter dated 15th October 1996, 25th October 1996, 25th November 1996. In these three letters I wrote to certain banks, which I will not mention, is evidence here in my book, warning them what's going to happen in 1997. Recently, I just published the second edition of this book, The Tree of Longevity. Alright? In that book, I said that based on my research and my methodology, I could foresee trends way ahead of many other analysis, prediction or forecasts. I talk about trends and how to survive volatility. Alright? Now this has been published. And I give detailed analysis of that research and the methodology. Having said that now, unfortunately, this book and my trilogy is out of print. This book is just recently published. I'm not here to promote a book. I don't need your money. I'm just showing to you my books to show to you I'm serious and I know what I'm talking about. Now, after my address, I want you to Google and do your own research and verify what I'm going to say. Because what I will show you will shock you. Have your phone ready now. This is my red alert of global financial terrorism. It's a picture of the international renowned financial magazine, the financial magazine of the world, The Economist, published by in Great Britain, Brits. You see the words, get ready for world currency. And in the middle of the eagle, what do you see? A coin. Almost exactly like Bitcoin. But it's not Bitcoin. Look carefully. This was a publication way back in 1988, 20 years ago. And the title is Get Ready for a World Currency by 2018. The Economist magazine. The countdown has begun. You got it? So I'm not talking cock and bull, for heaven's sake. 20 years ago, in this magazine, the front page, they've told the whole world, get ready for world currency by 2018. Some of you were not even born or in business. Some have even forgotten this headline. How precise, how accurate that today, out of nowhere, to most of people, out of nowhere, cryptocurrency has taken the world by storm. Not forgetting that there's many undercurrents supporting that phenomena, cryptocurrency. I can assure you, after hearing this video address, no one in Bank Negara, no banks in this country, no economists from Harvard, from Oxford, from Cambridge, I don't care where they are, no think tanks, no analysis in all the financial newspaper in Malaysia, The Edge, The Focus, and what have you, know about this, have any inkling that this forewarning by economists in 1988, get ready for world currency by 2018. How many, even though they have read this article way back 1988, have recalled that event, or even paused to analyze what could be the ramifications of 2018? What would happen if cryptocurrency will be the one world currency? Isn't that interesting? Can you imagine what will happen? Think about it. Now, get your phone ready and follow this text. In those articles by the economists, they have predicted that 2008 will be the time to unleash the cryptocurrency upon the world. 9th January 1988, get ready for world currency. Then, a few months later, on the 24th of September, the economists proclaimed the creation of the Phoenix global currency. One world, one money. Now, pause here. Do you understand the terminology Phoenix? Why would economists use that metaphor, Phoenix? Phoenix is the bird that rose from the ashes. Therefore, a new currency, a world currency, can only emerge upon the death and ashes of the existing fiat toilet paper money. And right now, what is the world currency that is dominating the world's trade and economy? And right now, that empire is in its death throes. US dollar, am I right? More particularly, petrol dollar. And in my previous video address for the last 1.5 years, I've mentioned to all of you there was an ongoing currency war and intensifying. And my very good friend, whom I've invited to come to Malaysia for a closed-door dialogue with selective, very selective people to attend, Jim Rickards, who wrote 2 books, Currency War, Death of Money, and recently, The New Case for Gold and the Road to Ruins. He mentioned. So therefore, my forecast, my analysis is backed by a world-renowned insider advisor to governments, mainly of the developed world, as well as to central banks, the Fed, Bank of England, BIS, Bank of International Settlements. So, some of you have advised, don't invest in Bitcoin because you are not in control. The fact that they are announcing that cryptocurrency will be the world currency, that means the price will shoot up, it's beyond your reach, so as to destroy, I repeat, so as to destroy all fiat currencies. Understand? To destroy all fiat currencies. Now, why all of a sudden, overnight, at one time, Bitcoin was selling for a couple of cents per unit. But last year, a phenomenal explosion. Few months before the deadline predicted by economists, a world currency will come into operation in 2018. Bitcoin surged 15,000%. Price year to year. As opposed to Dow Jones, that only gained 24%. Do you know how big is Dow Jones? How many people are investing in Dow Jones? And yet Dow Jones in the same period rose 24%. But Bitcoin, with the backing of unseen hands, dark money, global financial elite, soared to 15,000%. Why do you think it soared so much? Some even predict they will go to 100,000 per unit. And of course, some of you who are speculators, right? Lust for greed will say, wow, I better go in now. Not knowing that the powers behind Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies have this agenda, understand? You're not in the picture. They are in control, and you'll be slaughtered. Okay? Now, why is Bitcoin so dangerous? Okay? Right? Some people think that Bitcoin is like trading shares or trading currencies. Let me tell you, right? A side effect of cryptocurrency is the amount of energy they consume. Repeat it. The amount of energy that is consumed for a transaction. Meaning, if you want to buy something with Bitcoin, that is a transaction. Okay? One transaction. I want to buy a pair of shoes, I pay by Bitcoin. All the computers located all over the world will monitor that transaction, understand? For one transaction. Photograph this, cryptocurrency energy production costs more than what 159 of the world's nations consume in a year. Okay? The amount of energy consumed by 159 countries is less than what is required to power Bitcoin transactions. Just one Bitcoin transaction consumes 240 kilowatts of electricity, enough to power 8 US households for a single day. Why? This is due to the network of computers called miners that verify its transactions, and as example by Bitman Technologies Limited, who run a computer server farm in Inner Mongolia that is housed inside 8 mammoth, 100-meter long, that is 300 feet metal warehouses, having about 25,000 computers dedicated to solving the encrypted calculations that generate each Bitcoin. You see that? You think it's some one or two computer wizard that is invented and managing Bitcoin? You think a couple of whiz kids can afford to establish such a center in Inner Mongolia? They must have unique resources and the backing of global elites. So don't listen to the crap that some whiz kids in the backyard or the garage discovered Bitcoin technology, blockchain, what have you. Now all of a sudden becomes a fad, like a personal computer. Rubbish. It's because if you talk about Bitcoin without bearing in mind what the economists have said in 1988, then you're off the mark, you're out of the tangent, you're wallowing in fantasy. This is the ultimate currency war of the 21st century. Global economies will be devastated. Why? Most countries have reserves, foreign reserves, many in US dollars, some in euros and yen. when global currency at present is devastated, the price of US dollar will collapse, as in most major currencies, while cryptocurrencies will soar. But who controls cryptocurrencies? Not countries, an elite organization of financial elites. They control, and they will take over. Because when the economists mention one world, one currency, they didn't say, did they? Which country controls, right? But bear in mind, this is the financial newspaper of the global financial elites, not countries. When they say there'll be one world currency, that means the fiat currency, the supreme, will also be demolished. Because the US dollar is not a cryptocurrency. Get it into your head, think about it, sleep on it, and act upon it. As a result of this unleashing of the cryptocurrency to be the world currency, only 3 major powers or alliances survived before the hot war takes over. Or you could be the hot war starting first, then financial war takes over. But it's my belief that a financial war will start first. When all is finished, when 3 is left standing, one will try to be the most supreme power. That's why, for the last 5 years, Russia and China has been accumulating gold to back the currency. China shut down an exchange for the cryptocurrency Bitcoin. Alright? I think Russia will follow. But the West, UK, USA, and part of Europe are following another route, the route of economists. So the ultimate tree, right, is this. 3 or 4 countries grouped together will fight for supremacy is this. USA, UK, Israel. The elites of those countries are backing cryptocurrency versus Russia, China, and maybe 1 or 2 other countries. Gold-backed currencies. Got it? There was a time where they thought that the IMF special dwelling rights will replace US dollar as a global reserve currency, because unlike the Federal Reserve, their balance sheet is quite clean. They can print digitally, otherwise trillions of SDR, special drawing rights, whereas Fed is up to their eyeball in printing money. They can't print anymore, whether digitally or otherwise. But they realize if IMF were to embark on that route, China would play a key role, and that would not serve the long-term interests of the financial elites of the Western world. So having had a head start in the technology, blockchain technology, and having able in the last 1 year rigged, manipulated, and cornered the cryptocurrency market, pushing by 15,000% its value. That means global trade flush with toilet paper money can be reorientated. Like I said before, why price of gold will go to 10,000 an ounce? Because if gold is used to back a currency for world trade, at the present price of 1,300 US dollars per ounce, it's not sufficient. There's not sufficient gold in the market to back the amount of money that's required in world trade. But if the price of gold were to raise to at least 10,000 per ounce, then global trade can be financed by gold denominated or backed currencies. Alright? It's meant for countries, not for individuals. Okay? Because how much an individual can hold any gold? That is a scheme of things. So now there will be a very intense war. On one hand, the Western-backed financial elites who want cryptocurrency to dominate, and on the other hand, the gold-backed currencies of China, Russia, and one or two other countries. Having said that, and giving those introductory remarks, let me assure you, since I'm not God, and since the economy says this will commence in 2018, it'll be an idiot, a numbskull, nincompoop to say it won't happen. It will happen. It's not if, but when. It may be as early as January of 2018 or sometime in 2018. But be assured, when economists, the mouthpiece, I'm telling you, I repeat, the economist is the most authoritative mouthpiece of all financial elites of the whole world. More reputable, more reliable than even the Wall Street Journal. Okay? Don't forget them. The Zionists in charge of Bank of England is the ultimate global power in the world. Not Wall Street, not the Federal Reserve. Mother England, though Lord of Empire, wields global financial power. Otherwise, the economists would not dare come up with that front page headline. So sure that 2018 will be the countdown. In fact, the countdown has started now. That's why, as a result of my research and my liaison with my colleagues all over the world, I've decided to make this announcement and this address to all of you. And I hope you'll take me seriously, because the only way is to protect yourself. Get out of the stock market. Get out of all markets, because you cannot fight them. Not in currency, not in commodities, not in stock market. It will collapse. When such a major situation is happening, one world currency, cryptocurrency, to take over. What, you think it's a tea party? Our reserve will be wiped out. Najib, the idiot, the finance minister, is clueless. He's still wanking in his mind what MDB, understand? His second finance minister is equally blur. Nincompoop. The Secretary of Treasury is nincompoop, totally blur. And I can show you not one senior official in Bank Negara, from the governor downwards, are clueless in the blank. They may have an inkling that soon there will be a replacement of US dollar. They may still think about SDR. But I can assure you, they miss this out completely. So I therefore invite Bank Negara now, do your bloody research, do your part, and tell the country, the Prime Minister, the Finance Minister, key officials, right? Wake up from your slumber. We have a major crisis coming. Okay? And maybe, just maybe, if we get rid of him in time, in 218, because now we are December, you can't call it election in December now, can it? It has to be 218. For heaven's sake, get rid of the thumb scars, the corrupt criminals, and maybe, just maybe, with Tun Mahathir, with vast experience in solving our country problems, and saving our country when we survived. Look, I'm not here, right, to promote Tun Mahathir, whatever. I'm now being very pragmatic, okay? This is a major crisis. If you don't take it seriously, then you deserve to be burned and buried alive. And I have no qualms to say that to all of you, okay? No pity, yeah? Because I'm sick and fed up of people, armchair critic, not doing an action, fantasizing, twiddle-tee, twiddle-dum. This is serious. More serious than that 1 MDB now. Okay? We have no money to pay 1 MDB. If we have, our reserves will be finished. Pensions now will not be paid in December. Can you imagine? Pensions will not be paid to pensioners. We're that bad. If this happens, I'm telling you, when Najib says about Malay will be devastated, Malay privilege will be devastated, some other so-called China DAP will destroy Malay privileges and Malay rights and the rulers. Nah. That's not the issue in this country now. The issue is he doesn't know what's going on. He will destroy our country because he's not prepared. So I'm the first now to warn all of you. Take it, believe it, or shove it down the tubes to the dustbin. I don't care. I've done my duty, and I hope the leaders of Pakatan Harapan will wake up and focus also on this issue. This will destroy all of us. Alright? You can say this is right, scaremonger, or whatever. I don't care. I'm very confident because I have a track record in this book, in my previous book, in my articles, in my website. I've proven right. I don't have to prove to you. I have enough witness and friends, not only in Malaysia, but in the world, who can vouch for my integrity. So all of you, before I conclude, I hope you will pray hard during this Christian celebration of Christmas. Right? It doesn't matter whether you are Muslims or Christians or Buddhists or Hindus, right? Now is the time to pray to your own God for salvation. Surrender to the will of Allah. Have absolute faith that He will protect, defend, and guide us under all circumstances, in the face of all enemies, adversities, and challenges, and evil. This is evil. The global agenda of the elite to devastate economies throughout the world for their power. Because they're motivated by lust for money, lust for opulence, the greed for power. The same motivation as personified in the present regime and by our Prime Minister. Can you see now? When I say we are in very, very serious times, I'm not joking. With that, I conclude my address today, and I hope you take the right action. Alright, if you need, you email me and I'll try to respond. Have a nice day, and God bless you all. And for my Christian brothers and sisters, wishing you a Merry Christmas. With a caveat, be careful, but always celebrate. But be careful and pragmatic and start preparing now. Thank you.